So I talked to my friends about Pickbuild, and the results I have are sad news. Not only is there nothing I can do to revive Pickbuild, but most members are unwilling to join Season 3 of Pickbuild if it starts immediately. So unfortunately, I have to announce that Pickbuild is dead. I did all this and that, and all this work went to waste. A big thank you to all my friends for creating this wonderful experience, and especially King K for hosting the server. My next video took a long time to make. Recording and editing spanned days, months for finding a time to record so that I wouldn't spill the beans, and the content showcase in it took years to create. So don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss this video. It will be coming out on Friday, August 12th, 2022 at 1 p.m. Pacific time. What's up, guys? It's William here, back with another coding project, this time the Reupload sorting visualizer of Doom, sorting algorithm visualizer created with Reupload and C. Basically, there's a lot of stuff to do, so I'm looking for contributors to help me with my project, also because I'm going back to school. On that note, I don't really have any content other than unlisted stuff I haven't bothered to publicize yet, so unfortunately, you should be expecting a hiatus. We're gonna get back on track. Alright, peace. Remember to like and subscribe. Redrawing the alphabet. Is there any correlation between what a letter looks and sounds like? No, which is why I want to redraw the alphabet. There are a few main goals that I have here. There should be a pattern between what a letter looks and sounds like. The creation of lowercase letters should be prioritized since they'll be written most often. And finally, letters should transition smoothly into each other so you can write an entire word without lifting your writing utensil very much, or at all. Now this ordering of letters is really awkward, so let's reorganize it. Behold my simplified phonetic chart. But what are these ugly gaps? The letters that belong here are usually written up using a combination of two Latin letters, but let's borrow some letters from the Cyrillic alphabet to fill them in. Much better. And lastly, let's add some spaces to make room for my new redrawn letters. Perfect. Don't know if I'm ever going to finish this series, but make sure to like and subscribe because I'm Redrawing the Alphabet Episode 2. Last time I made this simplified phonetic chart to aid in organized letter construction, but it's actually wrong. It's not based on actual phonetic theory and influenced heavily by English phonology specifically, so if this isn't right, then what is? This is a simplified version of the International Phonetic Alphabet. But there are certain letters that we wouldn't normally distinguish between in language, so let's simplify this phonetic chart even further, optimizing it for use in language. First, I'm bringing back the semivowels to clarify the pronunciation of things like yi and wu. Let's merge all of these consonants I mentioned earlier. The glottal stop is usually represented by punctuation anyway, so let's get rid of it, and this allows us to merge all of the laryngeal consonants. Hold on a minute, semivowels are actually approximants, so this allows us to unify our chart based on the relation between semivowels and vowels. Redrawing the Alphabet, Episode 3. Last time, we corrected the simplified phonetic chart to more accurately represent phonetic theory, but some of the choices I made for these letters were questionable. However, what really matters is that we have a blueprint for the kinds of letters that we want in our alphabet, which I'll start filling in next episode. This is why you shouldn't carry all of your papers to school. These are all my papers from this past school year, and as you can see, it's 3.5 inches or 9 centimeters thick. Carrying this much paper on your back all day, every day, can result in back pain. To counteract this, if you know you aren't going to be using a paper again, store it at home or recycle it. And yes, I know that lockers exist, but you're gonna do what I just mentioned at the end of the year anyway, so... Redrawing the Alphabet, episode 4, and it's finally time to start redrawing letters, and I'm going to start off by representing the open vowel with a circle, or a triangle, or a square, if you're going for a different aesthetic. Furthermore, we can split up this circle into different parts to represent different places of articulation. If our arc or angle, whatever, is pointing to the left, it's going to represent labial sounds. Explanations are popping up on screen right now. If it's pointing up, that'll be coronal. If it's pointing to the right, that'll be dorsal. So this kind of matches up with the cross-section of the mouth with the lips at the left. Furthermore, if we have just the arc or angle on its own, it's going to represent a mid-vowel, because that's the most common type of sound. If the arc is pointing to the right, it's going to represent eh, because that's what happens when you constrict the mouth a little at that point. If it's pointing to the left, and if it's pointing up, if I articulate with the tongue, I get And with that, we've redrawn our first 4 letters. Redrawing the Alphabet, episode 5. Last time, we created a basic shape that can be rotated to represent different places of articulation. Now it's time to modify that shape to represent different manners of articulation, creating the majority of our letters. Let's add a stroke down the shape to represent a plosive, a stroke going inward at the end of the shape and meeting back up with the main body of the shape on the inside to represent a fricative, and a stroke going across the shape to represent a nasal consonant. Furthermore, to any of these modified shapes, we can add a stroke on the outside at the end of the shape to add voicing, or to turn a mid-vowel into a closed vowel. Except we run into a conflict with fricatives, so we have to draw the inward stroke after the outer stroke, meeting back up with the main body of the shape on the outside. But we still have a few more letters to draw, and they're less regularly organized than the ones we've drawn so far, and I'll be drawing them next episode.